I've been seeing a lot of talk about this rigging style lately. For those of you that have been fishing for a while, many of you may refer to this as the banjo minnow rigging style. Yes, I did have some too, and I'll admit I caught a lot of fish on them. But after some time, you end up going back to the more traditional style of rigging, a soft jerkbait. So I wanted to do a little comparison. Is this nose rigging better? Is there a noticeable difference? I'm already confident that it works. I just want to know personally if it is worth the extra time it takes to do this. So we will do a little side-by-side look, both above and below the water. For this test, I used a couple of weight stops to hold the nose hook in place. If I were to fish this, I would switch these out for something like small O-rings instead, but for the purposes of this comparison, it will work fine. And on this nose rigging, this is also a number 2 wide gap hook. Now the idea is that nose rigging provides a more lifelike movement in the water because there's nothing that is restricting or stiffening the plastic. I did this with a traditional 5-inch soft jerkbait. Now I need to also do this with smaller jerkbaits as well, but all the finesse size jerkbaits I have are made from Elastec, and Elastec is extremely resistant to screwing in a keeper like this. I'm sure you've probably had experience with that. So I do have to pick up some of those smaller Plastisol versions. Well, let's look at the nose rigging first on this 5-inch version. When we take a look at it, worked very quickly from above the water, it clearly has some great action. That skipping minnow, fleeing minnow presentation comes to life. I have no doubt that it will work. Now here's the same soft jerkbait, but rigged in a traditional Texas rig manner with a 3/0 wide gap hook. It too looks amazing when looked at from above with a fast fleeing type retrieve. And here they are in a side-by-side comparison. And as you can see, these two retrieves look extremely similar. They both look great. Now let's take a look underwater. First, the nose rigging. The first thing that pops out or stands out is that the nose rigged soft jerkbait glides forward on almost every single drop, which would make sense. That extra weight in the front pulls it downward at an angle, just like when we would add a nail weight to the front of a plastic. Well, here is the nose rigged lure twitched and paused from underwater. Once again, looks amazing. And here is the soft jerkbait with the regular Texas rig. It too looks great, as we can see. And here are the two lures in a side-by-side comparison underwater. Personally, I don't see a noticeable increase in the action with the nose hooking versus the traditional rigging style, but I can say whichever you prefer to use has great action, and whichever you have the most confidence in is what you should use. Now clearly there will be some differences when fished around various types of cover as far as weeds or trees, and you could use a hook with a weed guard on the nose rigged version for sure. Well, which do you prefer and why? Or are you going to stick with the traditional style of rigging? And hey, if you want to watch a video that can help you instantly improve your bass fishing just by how we approach our day on the water, and no, it doesn't cost any more money whatsoever, go ahead and check this one out right here, and make sure that you go out and encourage someone today. You never know how you might just change their life. For the Bass Fishing Life, I'm your host, Steve Rogers.